everyone's well. Hope everyone is staying safe and having a great day, having the best day they possibly can, given everything that's going on. Firstly, apologies that this is another phone video. I said all this was saved on my memory card on my camera, which is gone now. So we've got to try and repeat a few things which I've gone over once in an old video that I recorded, didn't publish, and so now we're going through it again on the camera. But I want to get the information out. I don't want to waste your time subscribing to my channel waiting for content and not coming, so I want to get it out there. So what we're going to do, we are talking about the diseases in these next few videos. Now, like I said, this is a very much a beginner's guide, introduction, so I say, to different sort of subjects within beekeeping. Last time we talked about the different roles and responsibilities of the bees, and then this time what we want to talk about is some different types of diseases that's going to occur in your hive. Now there are a lot, I'm not going to lie to yourself, there's a lot of things which can go wrong in your hive when it comes down to things like diseases and pests and such like. So I'm going to basically touch base on a few of the common ones. So this is probably going to be split up over a few videos, because what I want to do as well, so I'm going to try and keep these to be about a 10 minutes in length sort of episodes. I don't want to chuck too much at you at one time, because I could sit here for hours and talk about it, but you know, you don't want to sit here for hours and I've got to go to work. So like I said, I want to just a brief sort of introduction on some of the common ones. So we're going to start this one. This one we're going to talk about some of the common brood diseases even. And by that we're going to talk about Sacbrood, and we're talking about Chalkbrood, which are two of the common ones you're going to end up as brood diseases. We're then going to move on to the next episode. We're going to look at ones that can affect the adults, and by that we're going to chat about the deformed wing virus, and we're also going to talk about CBPV, or chronic bee paralysis virus, which are two of the diseases which is going to affect your older bees, your adult bees. We're then going to move on to another one, which we're going to talk about specifically EFB, which is a European foul brood, and AFB, which is American foul brood. And then finally going to move into ones about the pests and problems that you're going to have for your hives. And by that, I'm going to talk about things such as the varroa mite. We're going to talk about wasps. We're going to talk about mice. And we're going to talk about some of the more exotic pests that we don't get over here in the UK at the moment, which are going to be the small hive beetle. We're going to touch base on small hive beetle, and we're also going to have a quick look at the Asian hornet as well. Basically, the type of pests which we don't get over here, but it's always good to be aware of what could come our way. So, like before, what I'll do is I'll start each section with a couple of pictures of what you're going to be looking for when you're in your hives, and we'll start off with Sacbrood. So here's a couple of pictures. So, like I said, we'll start off with Sacbrood. Now, the most researched way and the most understood way that Sacbrood is brought into your hive is via a virus, and the full name of that is included on the picture, because my pronunciation isn't the best in the world. So it's brought in via a virus by the foraging bees, which go out, collect the honey, collect the nectar, the water, and all that sort of stuff, and the pollen. Bring it back to your hive, and then it's the nurse bees which feed that to the larvae. So this is a virus that will affect the larvae and the developing bees in your hive. So feed it to the larvae will then start to will obviously absorb that food, eat that food, and then the virus will kill the larvae before it pupates. So the larvae will ingest it, the cell is then capped, and inside the cell the larvae will die, and go from there. You'll notice Sacbrood by a couple of ways. First way is if the wax capping has got a pinhole prick in the top of it, so it's a sign that you could potentially have Sacbrood in there. And also the other way of looking at it is you'll notice that the larvae, if the wax capping has been removed, essentially looks like a sac, and it goes from like a yellowy grey sort of colour. Now, it's not to get confused with some of the foul brood diseases. The coloration is slightly differently, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in the when I talk about EFB and AFB. Now, Sacbrood isn't something that is going to, or shouldn't, I should say, it shouldn't be something that's going to kill off your colony. It is quite common when it comes around the springtime, when the hive is growing and the hive is the colony itself is growing. So it shouldn't be something that's going to kill off your colony, and it should be something that the bees will sort out themselves. You'll notice them pulling the dead brood out of their cells and then chucking them on the floor and eventually removing them from the hive. However, it will affect honey production, things like that, because obviously the amount of bees in there the numbers aren't gonna grow. What you'll also notice, or what you'll also know, is the fact that the adult bees, their lifespan is greatly reduced if they have this infection, which it causes sacbrood, and like I said, so therefore the production, the growth of the colony won't be as high as it should be. So that's just an indication of sacbrood. Like I said, there's a few pictures just before this one. We'll have a move on to chalkbrood next. So as I said, and as the picture suggests, we're going to move on now to chalkbrood. Now chalkbrood, similar to sacbrood, is something that's going to affect the larvae in your developing bees. And again, it shouldn't be something that's going to kill off your hive, and should be something that the bees can tolerate and deal with themselves. The cause of chalkbrood is the developing bees, again, will get fed a fungus, which causes the chalkbrood disease. Again, the scientific name I'll pop onto the pages before. This fungus will then be ingested, as I said. The fungus will then throw out a load of white filaments from it, and from there it will penetrate the wall of the gut of the larvae and eventually burst through the bee, sucking away all the nutrients, all the food and all that sort of stuff there, leaving behind these white filament sort of stringly bits. And that's what causes the sort of mummy effect of the chalkbrood itself, and the whiteness of what gives it its appearance as well. As before, same sacbrood. This is mainly going to be caused during the spring, and is brought on. You'll notice it more when there's a period of cold or wet sort of times. So spring is a perfect example of when you're going to notice the most chalkbrood, and again, it's something that you shouldn't worry too much about. Just be known that it's there, and like I said, just keep an eye on it. Now, these spores are somewhat of a concern when it comes to chalkbrood, because they can live, even once the chalkbrood has been removed, the spores of that fungus can stay within the hive for a number of years. I think the last research said it can stay in there for around 150 years, was the last time I read. If that's still the case, then fantastic. If research has changed since the last time I read about it, then apologies for that. But the best way of making sure, or keeping your hive nice and clean when it's got chalkbrood, is if you do notice an infected frame, if you do notice that there is a lot of chalkbrood within a frame, the best thing you can do is get that frame out and replace it, in my opinion, and from the research which I've put into it. So get that frame out, put a new one in there, and obviously allow it to draw out. That should then remove not only the chalkbrood, but should remove all the spores and such like that as well, which is obviously going to cause continued problems within your hive. So again, like I said, chalkbrood is something just to be aware of. So it's there. Know that, again, like I said, it shouldn't kill off your colony. However, it will, again, reduce the amount of honey production you're going to get there and the growth of the hive itself. So as I said, these videos are really designed just as an indication of an awareness of what's out there. Now, the diseases and pests is a massive subject in itself. So I would urge every one of you that's new to beekeeping, know that these diseases are there, know that sacbrood is there, know that chalkbrood is there, and then go off and do a little bit of research as well. I can give you the basics of an understanding of what this sort of thing does cause, and and sort of images of what you're going to be looking for when you're doing your hive inspections. But I would urge everyone to go away, go onto Google, search up chalkbrood, search up sacbrood, and you'll be able to get a lot more information from there as well. So that's it from me from this video. Like I said, I want to try and keep these videos to be around about the 10-minute mark, and pretty much hit that on this one. Just so, like I said, it's an idea, it's a basic knowledge of what beekeepers should be aware of, which is going on inside the hive. The next video we're going to look at, hopefully we'll have my camera back. If not, we'll have something that's going to produce a little bit of a better video than this one. Next one we're going to look at is we're going to look at some more adult diseases. So we're going to look at CBPV, so the chronic bee paralysis virus. Can never get that one right. And we're also going to look at the deformed wing virus, what causes it, some of the symptoms, what you need to keep looking out for. And again, once I've finished that video, I would urge everyone to go away, do some more research by yourself, and just to try and get that, build on the knowledge. Basically, I want to introduce, let you know it's there, and then allow you to build on that knowledge afterwards. So I would also just like to put a quick thank you as well to everyone that is subscribed to us, to everyone that's stopping by. If this is your first time on one of the videos, please hit that like button, the subscribe button, all that sort of stuff. Take a look at some of our other videos, which I will probably pop up here somewhere. And like I said, please consider giving us a subscribe. We are nearly at 100 subscribers. This channel has grown quite rapidly over the last few days. So a massive thank you to everybody. You've nearly allowed me to hit my second big milestone. My first one being 50, which I was blown away by. Now I've almost hit 100. I'm so happy with that. So thank you so much. But I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it has brought in some sort of information, some basic knowledge of what you're going to need to know about, which is going on inside your hive. And like I said, we will aim to get another video up within the week, showing different sort of adult diseases and things like that which are going on inside your hive. So appreciate you sticking with me. Apologies again for the phone camera. Apologies that we were in the car. But I would note the fact that we've... I think it was almost a week ago where I got my last video up, and this is the first chance that I've had to re-record the information which I did earlier on. So thank you very much for sticking with us. Fingers crossed the next one we'll be able to explore a few more things, and I appreciate your time. You take care of yourself. Thanks so much. Bye bye.